Good evening. I'm Edward Sanshin Oberholtzer, resident priest and guiding teacher at the Joseph Priestley Zen Sangha here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, and a member of the teaching circle at Empty Moon Zen. Mysteries find resolutions, or not, in the most unlikely places. I don't often think of the Union County Election Office as being such a place, but it's where I missed an opportunity to have a theological mystery resolved. When I moved to Pennsylvania and went to register to vote, I missed a chance in that most unlikely of places. My wife and I went to do our civic duty, and in filling out my voter registration form, I came to the question that asked for my address and realized that I didn't know whether I should put down my mailing address of Lewisburg or as the sign proclaimed at the foot of my street, East Buffalo Township. "Well," said the clerk with a straight face, when I asked her how I could reside in two different political entities at once. "It's like when my pastor explains the Trinity. God is both the Father and the Son at the same time. But you should write down East Buffalo Township." I was so taken by this clever violation of the separation of church and state that it was not until I got home that I realized that I'd missed the opportunity to have that most mysterious third part of the Trinity explained in terms of political districting. Just what is the Holy Ghost? And had that clerk ever listened to the Firesign Theater and their ragtime rendition of "How can you live in two places at once if you're not anywhere at all?" Now, I must admit that this isn't something that, if you'll forgive a bad joke, haunts me. But this somewhat incomplete reference to the Christian Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost does reflect to me that more pertinent Buddhist Trinity, the Trikaya, Dharmakaya, Nirmanakaya, and Sambhogakaya. And just as history is said, if not actually by Mark Twain, even though he should have said it, if history is said not to repeat, but to often rhyme, so the Christian Trinity has echoes, for me, in the Trikaya. And while this appears to be esoteric and obscure Buddhist terminology, it's actually pretty straightforward. We chant this Trinity at our meal service during Seishin. When the chant leader, the Ino, recites, "In the midst of the three treasures which verify our understanding, entrusting ourselves to the Sangha we recall," and we respond, as the food servers bring in the bowls of food, "Vairochana Buddha, pure Dharmakaya, Lochana Buddha, complete Sambhogakaya, Shakyamuni Buddha, myriad Nirmanakaya." Vairochana is seen as the universal, the cosmic Buddha, as the Dharmakaya of Shakyamuni Buddha. Lochana Buddha is the wisdom of Vairochana, often depicted as a female Buddha transmuting delusion to wisdom. And of course, Nirmanakaya, the earthly body of the Buddha, the historical Siddhartha Gautama, the particular, the form body. Now a Buddha, and we are all Buddhas, a Buddha has each of these three bodies, or kaya, just as, I suppose, the Christian God has those three aspects of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The Dharmakaya is the unity of the Buddha with all it is. It is the boundless, the open, emptiness. That term empty that Zen practitioners bandy about so much. The openness, the emptiness of which we chant in the Heart Sutra. And just as there we chant that form is emptiness, emptiness form, So the next body, or kaya, is nirmanakaya, the earthly body of the historical Buddha, the body we get out of bed with each morning, the body we feed breakfast to, that we pour coffee into, the one that has aches and pains, the one that we often mistake as being all that there is. With these two bodies, we see the echoes of the Christian Trinity. For what is God the Father if not the whole of creation, that which underlies and subsumes all that is? I know my Christian friends might object that I am needlessly ascribing a kind of deism to what so many of them see as a simple paternal deity. And what of Christ? The Word made flesh, God incarnate, the God that sweats and bleeds, the God that toils and struggles, just as the Buddha walked those dusty roads in northeast India, just as the Buddha laid down and died, so that aspect of the Trinity in the form of Jesus died upon the cross. God is both Father and Son and encompasses both. I like the way, in a very different religious context, the Norse would often refer to Odin as the All-Father. And so we have in the Trikaya, Dharmakaya, encompassing both the Nirmanakaya and Sambhogakaya, and that gets me to that burning question, left unanswered, by how I could live in both Lewisburg and East Buffalo Township. Just where does the Holy Ghost fit in? Or for that matter, what is this third body of the Trikaya? Just what is Sambhogakaya? When my kids were growing up in Boston, we had a tradition, or at least tried to have a tradition, of going to performances of the Christmas revels each December. I love that moment in the concert when John Langstaff would lead the company in a rendition of Lord of the Dance. Dance then wherever you may be. I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I lead you now wherever you may be, and I lead you now in the dance, said he. I noted that a simple, straightforward reading of those lyrics sees that figure as being Christ-like, but good God, this is the complete Sambhogakaya, the dance that weaves together God the Father and God the Son, that joins the historical Buddha and that all-encompassing, all-pervading Dharmakaya Buddha. Small wonder we often call it the enjoyment body. Form and emptiness and the weaving, the choreography, the slipping in and out, graceful, enchanting, yes, and clumsy at the same time. You would never see my dancing as a thing of grace, as my wife would no doubt tell you. No, it's more like the monster in Young Frankenstein clomping to putting on the Ritz. Still, that very clumsiness is the grace of the dance of Sambhogakaya, the dance of the Lord of the dance that weaves the Trinity into one God, that joins the Dharmakaya, Nirmanakaya, and Sambhogakaya into this one thing, which is you. Each of us embodying all three, all manifesting according to our own histories, our own karma. So dance then, wherever you may be. Dance in whatever township, county, city you may be in. We are all Buddhas. We are all lords of the dance. Thank you.